want you to think about ideas you strongly believe in. Please raise your hand if you believe your voice matters. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you have taken action to fight for what you believe in. Thank you. Our voices do matter, and we can use our voices to take action and change the world. In 5 short days, it will be November 3rd, Election Day, the most classic American example of using our voices to create change. Some elections, such as Bush v. Gore in 2001, have been decided by a matter of 500 votes. So if you think that our voices are inconsequential, they are not. A group of people the size of St. Paul's School for Girls can make the difference between who is elected and who is not. We elect the people who represent us, so technically they are working for us. However, sometimes we have to shout to be heard. In 9th grade, I attended a town hall hosted by my United States Congressman, Andy Harris, to discuss my concerns about gun violence. Some of you may remember that I sent out a survey 3 years ago to the school asking about your opinions for evidence. I went to the town hall and found out that the people who wanted to speak were called on randomly by drawing numbers from a basket. About 5 minutes before the end of the town hall, I realized I would not get the chance to ask my question if I did not do something drastic. Laurel Thatcher Ulrich said that well-behaved women seldom make history. Women who do not sometimes break the rules for justified reasons often remain voiceless, just like I was at the town hall. I stood up while my congressman was speaking and asked him if he cared about my life. He was obviously not too happy with me, but it got his and everyone else's attention. He angrily told me to sit down and called another number, but the man who was called on graciously gave me his number. I then got to speak about gun violence prevention and why it was important to me. Although he did not agree with me, many other people dedicated to the issue got to know me that night, and I've been fighting for justice with them ever since. I'm probably one of very few teens who has meaningful connections on Twitter and Facebook. Yeah, I do use Facebook with over 5 verified government officials. These connections have allowed me to fight for what I believe in more effectively than ever before. The United States is a country that was founded upon rebellion, beginning in 1776. We stood up against England, establishing what was to become the republic we have today. The Constitution was formed about 10 years later, with the desire to form a more perfect union, which implies that our founding fathers knew our country was not perfect, and that many laws would have to change in the future for that to be ensured. However, when we rebel, we must ensure that the causes for which we are rebelling are logical and justified. We must not simply rebel for the sake of rebelling, but rather to create effective change in our flawed institutions. However, the Constitution was quite flawed. It allowed for enslaved peoples to be worth 3/5 of a person and did not even give women the right to vote or become members of Congress. There were many things that needed to be changed in the Constitution, and Americans just like us were the main reason for this change. These institutions and documents were created with good intentions, but they were not perfect. They had flaws. People acted to correct these flaws, so we too must act to correct those that still remain. Acting is often the hardest part of making change. It goes against our natural inclinations to defy the rules even when those rules are flawed and unethical. Facing resistance is often hard, so we must persist and surround ourselves with supportive groups of people to ensure that this change happens. We must be strong women and persist through these difficulties, because ultimately we will create change in the end. One strong woman is Malala Yousafzai, who is an advocate for female education in Pakistan. Many of the girls' schools were closed by the Pakistani government due to the Taliban, but she continued to go to school and spoke out, leading to her getting shot in the head by the Taliban at age 15. Her story forced Pakistani schools to reopen to girls, and Malala ultimately gained international recognition for her fight for girls' education and won the Nobel Peace Prize. None of us will likely face such drastic consequences as being shot, but often finding our voices and speaking out helps us gain support for our causes, allowing us to succeed. I did not succeed in gaining the support of Representative Andy Harris at that town hall, but it jump-started my activism career, and I gained the respect of my community, allowing me to connect with others working towards the same goals. In my experience, there are 3 main steps to creating change. Step 1 is simply getting the word out about your cause. You can do this on any social media page or by writing op-eds to your local newspaper. Secondly, you should find public opportunities to advocate for the issue and connect with others. This can occur at town halls, lobbying in local or federal Congress, or by even calling your senator. These will show that you are willing to take action, give you connections, and gain recognition. Often, students can use their age to their advantage because people love to support inspiring young people who are making change. Lastly, you must persistently continue to advocate. This will effectively lead to the change you want to see. The late John Lewis said that change requires good trouble, necessary trouble. So I encourage you to get in good trouble to advocate for change. Change is a continuous process and is necessary to make sure that our institutions remain ethical and represent the voices of the majority of our people. I bet many of you have an issue that you passionately believe in which needs to be changed. Find what you want to change. Find your voice and change the world. Let us take a moment of silence to reflect on those who have created change in the past and the ways that we can change the world for the better in the future. Thank you.
Our mask is up there.
This Monday, the 5th and 12th graders met at school for the annual Halloween parade. Even though it was different than it has been in the past, we still made the most of it